Hello. Testing. One, two, three.
Talking about the trailer unless it's on the YouTube page. Only talk about it to tell me it's there. Don't say anything about. Don't. Shush. No spoilers.
Oh my god, here it is.
No
Okay,
jokes, no
we're ready
jokes,
to go.
spoilers, just-
Let's watch. Oh, I'm just gonna turn off my. Yeah, okay. We're in. Okay, this looks like Endor. Training remote. Nice. Oh, that's so beautiful. I saw Lando there. Wow. Yes. Oh my god. Is that... What? Palpatine? Matt Smith? Oh my word. I don't even know what to say about it. There's so much. Okay. Palpatine is there. There was something. And Rey and Kylo are working together as I suspected. And 3PO's death is something I'm really actually concerned about. Or is his memory just going to be wiped? I wonder what's going on. Okay, we're going to go through it again. I'm going to break it down as I'm going to watch it through again, see what I can see, and then I'm going to break it down after, so stay tuned. Okay. This might be Yavin, might be somewhere else. At this point I don't think it matters too much. Okay. Inside the Death Star wreckage, I'm imagining. Lando's there. Aftab is there. Yeah. They're not fighting. What is this throne? What does it mean? Oh, this shot. This music. Yeah. Being selfless. Woo! B-wings. Sorry, Y-wings. And B-wings. Horses? What are they destroying there? Oh. Luke and Leia passing on the legacy of Anakin to Rey. Oh wow, okay. Right, we're going to do a quick breakdown of that so that I can get online and get ready with the tickets. So, okay, cicadas, or whatever the galaxy's equivalent. This could be Yavin, could be Endor. At this point, I don't care all that much. It doesn't matter, it's just the start of the story. I don't think it matters where it is. She was wearing a helmet, but she dropped it. She's training with a remote. Finn's talking about the Force and how it's brought them all together. He doesn't know much about the Force, so I'm not sure exactly what he's talking about. Rey in different locations. I don't know how much of it is training, how much of it is a mission. I reckon here it could be a vision that she and Kylo end up on the Death Star remains. It might not be literal or real, but I reckon it is. So we get a nice big look at the planet here with Rey running around on it. I don't know, it could be Yavin. Yavin 4 is Poe's like home world, so maybe that's got something to do with it. Okay, we've got a few people here. We've got Lando in the middle there, obviously. Chewie's in there. Poe and Finn are in there giving a speech. You've got Aftab Akbar, son of Gail Akbar. You've got 3PO, so 3PO is still around at this point. Is Snap Wexley in there anywhere? I can't quite tell. This might be him, doesn't look like it. Oh, this might be him here, actually. Okay, that would be nice to see. Connix, I can't see her. Okay, well, let's keep going. Horses, well, I don't know what they're called. It's been revealed, but I've forgotten. Moving out. But Rose looking the other way. These three turning around. That's just a... What ship is that? I can't tell. Is that a X-Wing? It doesn't look like it. It looks like an ARC 170 or something similar. Like, it doesn't have S-foils. That wing isn't going to open up like that as far as I can tell. Or maybe it is. Yeah. They're together. I'm not a Reylo supporter necessarily, although I'm not against it. But they are together as allies at least. Like, they have a kinship. And I'm really interested to see where that goes. What's he doing here? Is he preparing to fight her? Is he putting his weapon away? Because we see them flashing blades, so I assume they do fight for a bit. Okay. What is all this ice? The Star Destroyers we see emerging from under the ice later, so is there an installation on some planet? I just love the visual of this as well. I love the sort of glacial, completely placid water look. I've always loved that. I think it's really magical. It creates this... Whoa. Sorry. It's not. What was I saying? It's not... I thought it was an iceberg, and this was a reflection, but I'm looking at it. The reflection doesn't match up. This is a comet. This is in space. I thought these ties were going over water, but they're not. This is actually in space. As you can see, it from here to here, it doesn't sync up in terms of reflection. So is there a base within this comet? Are the Star Destroyers inside the comet? That's very interesting. Now this throne, I don't know what it means. I don't recognise the symbols on it. This imagery, it's not Sith imagery necessarily. We know there are Sith troopers. I don't know what it's got to do with the Sith really. I'm guessing the Sith troopers serve Palpatine, but official merchandise says that they are part of the First Order. Maybe they're meant to hunt Sith. Maybe Kylo Ren wants to kill Palpatine. I don't know. I don't know what this is about. I don't know what this throne is, this stone throne, if you will, is about. I'm interested though. I'm very excited to know what's going on with this. It looks like it's in that same icy place. So this could be Palpatine's seat of power. Is it too much to hope that this has something to do with the Mortis gods? That would be really cool. Long have I waited. So they're coming out of ice, it seems. And water? I can't tell. I really can't tell. But it's an old Imperial Star Destroyer. There is an Imperial faction still out there. Palpatine, or his will at least, is at the head of them in some form or another, whether he's alive or not. He's commanding them. Maybe from beyond the grave. So these are the ones with the red stripe on them that we saw from the other trailer. Okay. What's this? What is this? Okay. So we've got the Ghost. Is this the Colossus here? We've got Hammerhead corvettes. We've got all sorts of ship in this shot. I'm just going to try and have a look. I mean, there's so many. Is this like the carrier ship from Rebels? I can't tell. We've got Nebulon Bs. We've got Corellian corvettes in there. All sorts. Like, everyone has come out of the woodwork for this final battle. The forces of good versus the forces of evil. Like, that's what this has come down to. And, you know, I wonder if we'll see Kazuda Xiono. I wonder if we'll see Jason Solo. Jason Syndulla. Freudian slip. I really hope that they do as they promised and bring in all these elements. That looks like a U-wing there. Nice to see that they're still in service. And you've got the Falcon spearheading the attack. Is that the Razor Crest? Just there? Can't be, can it? It looks familiar, but I can't tell from where. Okay, well, we'll keep going. Oh, we might be able to see in the cockpit there. Chewie. That's definitely Chewie. And next to him... Rey? No, Lando. Yeah, you can see Lando. So he's reprising his role as Gold Leader, I think. But he says, this is Gold Leader. Except, all wings report in. And it's just a cacophony of support. Will last longer than we will against that Death Star. You're coming together. What's this here that they've got? I'm intrigued about that. Got a bit of L3 in the back there. It'll always be there. They're fighting, but is it training? Okay, you've got a Star Destroyer here. An old Imperial Star Destroyer, you can see that. They've blown something up. I don't know what it is. Looks, with the shards of ice, I think it might be the comet. So, maybe an old... I don't know what the significance of that comet is. We'll see. We'll see what it is. This intrigues me. This looks like a racer from, like, Resistance or something. I hope it is. I hope it's like I've not watched Resistance yet. I've seen some bits and pieces, but I hope it is something from Resistance. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. And there's some broken stuff. I guess this is bits of the Death Star. This must be how they get onto the Death Star in the first place. So this is the transport that I can't. It's blurred here, but it seems that that's all of them. You know, Rey, Finn, Poe, Chewie, and 3PO. They're all, you know, they see the Death Star up in the distance from that first trailer, and now they're moving in towards it. And then she goes on it and fights Kylo for whatever reason. But I think that's where they join forces. So we've got Babu Frick there doing his thing, and this seems to be the 3PO Red Eye moment. I don't know if this is 3PO's death. I think maybe it's a possibility that he might die. He's risking his life. Perhaps, there is a hidden combat subroutine, and that's what Red Eye 3PO is. And he just thinks, well, I might not ever come back from this. I might not ever recover, so I'm taking one last look. Or maybe he is definitely dying and he knows it. But the others don't seem distraught about it. But then again, why would they? None of them have history with 3PO in the same way that we do. So they wouldn't necessarily be too upset by it, or as upset as I would be. You've got Dio there. I like their outfits here. You've got Zori Bliss? What's her name? Bliss. Zori Bliss, I believe that's her name. I can't see Chewie in this scene. I can see an old medical droid in the background there, though. That's nice. That's nice to see an old design. So this is like a droid workshop. She must have led them to Babu Frick. She must know the area where they are. The back of his head is exposed. There's old bits of droid. Oh my god, there's a B2. There is a B2 right there. Sorry, not a B1. A B1 battle droid. That makes me so happy. I'm so happy to see some prequel acknowledgement. I want more. Instantly, I want more. Taking one last look at my friends. Full character arc for C-3PO. From episode 1 to episode 9. We've done it. We've gone through. He's had a full arc. And it feels satisfying. Even if this is his end, and I hope it's not. This feels good. This feels like a satisfying ending. He never had progression as a character. He wasn't meant to necessarily. But seeing him now makes me look at saying this makes me look back and see his internal journey. And the comic books have helped with this, like the recent stuff by Greg Pak with the rock monsters on K-43, I think it is, has helped to show that, I feel. And he's realised he's with R2 at the time, but R2 seems happy, so I don't know that necessarily things are going badly for 3PO. He doesn't seem worried, is what I'm saying. So, it might be a different scene though. Got Chewie, he's still around. Running through First Order areas, killing troopers, and the music. I can't even describe. Got Chewie, Finn, and Poe. Yeah, Leia and Rey. It is confronting fear and being selfless. Ultimately, that's what the Jedi are for, and to set an example for others. It's not about what a Jedi can do in and of themselves. It's what they can inspire others to do. That's what's most important. So this is when they're being pursued by speeders and rocket troopers. If 3PO could look happy, he looks happy there. So they're getting away. Lando back in the Falcon. Interesting. Is that the weapon that... See, that shot we got of a Star Destroyer blowing something up might be from this final battle. This is definitely from the final battle. I think this is just one of the Star Destroyers. We're just seeing what's going on. Bombers hitting this large weapon, which is like in the Clone Wars. Venator-class Star Destroyers sometimes had these massive experimental laser beams mounted to them, as we saw in Revenge of the Sith and Battlefront. So I like that. It's just a sort of visual continuity, which I enjoy. The saga will end. So we've got this army, I forget her name, Janna something, and Finn, and a ton of resistance people, or whoever they are, people opposing tyranny and evil, riding into battle across the surface of a destroyer. So there's atmosphere here. So this is either happening in atmosphere or in a nebula that has an atmospheric stuff. I guess it must be happening on a planet's surface. So maybe the comet and the sort of comet station thing and the icy world that the Star Destroyer comes up out of are different. In fact, it might be the same world that has that city on it, where it's likely that they meet Zori Bliss, the cold one, which is why when they meet Babu Frick, they're all wrapped up warm. I reckon that's what's going on there. Maybe 3PO has some information buried deep in his memory-wiped databanks that Anakin put there potentially. I want to see Anakin. I want Anakin to appear as a Force ghost, and I want to know who Matt Smith is playing. I reckon he's playing a young Palpatine. I think they've gone with sort of the clone route. I'm not necessarily thrilled about that. I don't mind it. I trust them to do it well. But anyway, we'll see. Got BB-8 riding alongside them. The story lives forever. Ah, the throne room. Where it all went down. And they're just regarding each other. I don't know that they're fighting. I think perhaps they fight until they end up down here. And this is them reconciling. Realising that, they're here now. And maybe they have a vision of evil. Or maybe there's a trace here of an evil plan. They realise they have to work together if they're going to survive. And then later on, he's training her on Pasana, and the rest of the stuff happens, and they go to the other planet and meet Zori Bliss, Babu Frick, and so on, which would make the Yavin-looking planet just before this, and then they come to the Death Star. So this is early in the film. I think we've basically established that at this point. This is also early, it's still part of that main sequence with the Death Star. Right, I want to see what that is. Now, is it just training? He's wearing his helmet again. That's interesting. I don't know, the architecture, the look of the place, it looks like First Order stuff, but it's very clinical and white, like the inside of a Corellian Corvette or something. Like a blockade runner. I don't know what to think of it. Yeah, and I can't tell what this thing is. They're breaking something. And this looks like it's like the final challenge, like them working together to destroy, I don't know, an obelisk of Sith magic that's keeping the Emperor alive. I don't know what this is. That looks like a head. It looked anthropomorphic. I don't know. We'll see. They're looking at something. Some hologram? Yeah, okay, so they're riding on the surface of a Star Destroyer. We've got the turbo laser batteries there. And there are other Star Destroyers around. I can't tell if this is the surface of a normal Imperial Star Destroyer or a First Order one. It might be First Order. In which case, if the First Order and Resistance are working together, as I imagine they will be, to take out Palpatine and his ships, then this is a First Order troop that is like Star Destroyer with Resistance troops on it, riding into battle. Look at all these ships, though. Are they in space or in a nebula, or is it planetary? I still can't tell. You've got TIEs flying overhead. They look like normal TIEs? Difficult to say, actually. Got X-Wings, of course you have. Oh, look at the scale on those Star Destroyers, it's great. Oh, there's so many of them as well. I want to know where all these Imperial troops have been all these years. What's going on? Like, how has there been this hidden faction? So many people. Like, and there was never anything discovered by the wider galaxy for 30 years. Or possibly longer, depending on how long this has been hiding. So, I mean, assuming all of these are manned, which they might not be, they might all be remote controlled, perhaps, but that's still thousands of people, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands potentially, and no one knew a thing? I'm really interested to see how that's resolved. Got a B-Wing, it's great to see them return. I wonder if they'll do the Rebels experimental beam. Kylo was looking at something there. I reckon it's probably the same scene as that. Or is it inside the Death Star? He's looking at something. This is before he puts his helmet on as well. I mean, he might take it off during the film, but maybe it's before his helmet is reconstructed by Babu Frick. We didn't see Ben in the scene with 3PO, but I reckon he is allied with them at that point and is around, and Babu Frick will repair his helmet for him. So if this is before then, this could be hit in the Death Star with Rey at their moment of reconciliation. This is him noticing something, regarding the evil artifact or MacGuffin that is going to allow them to realise that they need to join forces. So, a cloaked figure approaching Rey, mechanical stuff there. So that could be how he's kept alive, I don't know. Is this real? Is it a vision? It might be a vision. It does look sort of surreal, but at the same time, wouldn't these mechanical parts be part of a vision? That the design on the ground is a bit too intricate? I don't know. Is that Matt Smith? I really hope it is. And not a hint of Dark Side Rey. So I don't know what that's about. It's a vision. It is a vision, isn't it? I don't think she's going dark, and I don't want her to, as it happens. Unless that's like a dual thing where Ben goes light, she goes dark. We'll see. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about it any further. I need to go and buy tickets for the film. So thanks for watching. Bye.